One single moment on June 17th made Sophie Cunningham gain 800,000 followers in 3 weeks and sparked the wildest WNBA romance rumors of all time.
Her first win in the WNBA. Clark has space. She's going to let it fly, and she's going to connect.
A hard foul. You could say it's a play on the ball,
But what I discovered when I dug deeper will shock you, and the truth about what happened at that All-Star game will change everything you think you know. The spark. The internet exploded. Not because of a game-winning shot, not because of a championship, but because of 6 seconds of pure chaos that turned a bench player into a social media sensation overnight. June 17, 2025. Indiana Fever versus Connecticut Sun. Caitlin Clark, the golden girl of women's basketball, gets poked in the eye by J.C. Sheldon. What happens next defies every expectation. Sophie Cunningham. A player most casual fans couldn't pick out of a lineup, launches herself into the fray like she's protecting her own family. The confrontation is immediate, fierce, and completely unexpected. She gets fined. She doesn't care. The clip goes viral within hours. But here's where it gets interesting, and this is the part that will make you question everything you thought you knew about their relationship. Within 24 hours, Sophie's Instagram followers jumped from 200,000 to 400,000. By week 2, she's gained 600,000. By week 3, over 800,000 new followers. Her TikTok explodes from 300,000 to over 1 million. Social media experts estimate she gained over $1 million in influencer value from that single moment. Think about that for a second. 6 seconds of defending a teammate made her more famous than entire seasons of basketball. Why? What was it about that specific moment that captured millions of people's attention? The answer lies in something that happened months earlier, something that changes the entire story. But first, let me show you just how deep this rabbit hole goes. The social media explosion wasn't random. The comments weren't just about basketball. Fans started connecting dots that maybe weren't meant to be connected. They analyzed body language, dissected every interaction, and created theories that would make conspiracy theorists proud. Sophie became Caitlin's bodyguard in seconds. One viral tweet read, "That's not teammate energy, that's protection mode." Another comment that got 50,000 likes. You don't defend someone like that unless there's something deeper going on. The internet had made up its mind. But the internet, as we'll discover, was missing crucial pieces of the puzzle. What fans didn't know was that this wasn't their first intense moment together. What they didn't know was that their connection started long before Sophie joined the Indiana Fever. What they didn't know was about to become the most talked about revelation in WNBA social media history. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me take you back to where this really began. The evidence. February 2024. The WNBA All-Star Game. 2 players who had never been teammates, who played for different conferences, who had no reason to interact beyond professional courtesy. The camera catches them courtside during warm-ups. They're laughing. Not polite, professional laughing, genuine, throw your head back, can't stop smiling laughing. The clip is buried in hours of All-Star footage. Nobody notices it at the time. Fast forward to the 2025 offseason. Sophie Cunningham gets traded from the Phoenix Mercury to the Indiana Fever. Officially, it's a routine roster move. Unofficially, the timing raises eyebrows. The Fever needed defensive help. They needed someone who could handle the physical play that was targeting their star rookie. They needed an enforcer. But did they specifically target Sophie because of that All-Star connection? Here's where the evidence gets compelling and a little scary for those who think this is just innocent friendship. Their social media interactions begin immediately after the trade. Not formal, welcome to the team posts. Personal, inside joke, finish each other's sentences type content. July 2025. Caitlin posts a photo of Sophie's new hairstyle with the caption, "Love this hairstyle." Sophie responds within minutes with 3 fire emojis and a comment that gets 10,000 likes. Their teammates flood the comments with knowing looks and laugh-crying emojis. The pattern continues. Every post, every story, every interaction has layers that fans dissect like ancient texts. The comments sections become battlegrounds between those who see romance and those who see friendship. But here's what nobody talks about. The pattern isn't random. The timing isn't coincidental. The interactions follow a specific rhythm that suggests something deeper than casual teammate banter. Sophie starts showing up in Caitlin's Instagram stories multiple times per week. Not team content, personal content, dinners, workouts, random moments that most teammates don't share with millions of followers. The bodyguard moments multiply. Sophie defends Caitlin in interviews, calling out refs for not protecting her. She positions herself as Caitlin's on-court enforcer, taking technical fouls and fines without hesitation. They're not protecting her like they should, Sophie says in a post-game interview that gets 2 million views. That's not acceptable, period. The quote goes viral. Not because of the basketball analysis, but because of the emotion behind it. The protective instinct that seems to go beyond professional solidarity. Their on-court chemistry becomes undeniable. They develop their own communication system. Hand signals, looks, split-second decisions that suggest hours of private practice and conversation. But the most compelling evidence isn't what they share publicly, it's what they don't share. The carefully curated glimpses into a relationship that seems to have depth beyond what cameras capture. The internet starts connecting dots that form a picture. But what if the picture isn't what it seems? What if the evidence points to something completely different than what millions of fans believe? The truth is about to get more complicated than anyone expected. The reality. August 2025. The revelation that changes everything. Sophie Cunningham sits down for a major sports network interview. The question millions have been wondering about finally gets asked. There's been a lot of talk about your relationship with Caitlin Clark. Can you set the record straight? Sophie's answer is immediate and unexpected. We're teammates and friends, nothing more. The internet has a way of making everything bigger than it is. But her denial makes the speculation worse, not better. The comment section explodes. Fans analyze her tone, body language, exact words. Nothing more becomes a meme. The lady doth protest too much, trends on Twitter. Here's what the evidence actually reveals when you strip away fan theories and wishful thinking. Their friendship timeline is remarkably compressed from strangers at the All-Star game to inseparable teammates in 8 months. But that's exactly what happens when elite athletes form strong professional bonds. The social media banter fans interpret as romantic, it's identical to interactions between dozens of other WNBA teammates. The protective instincts that seem personal, standard practice for players protecting star teammates. But here's what's really happening, and this makes the story even more interesting than romance rumors. Sophie Cunningham is experiencing the fastest rise to fame in WNBA social media history. Her association with Caitlin Clark has transformed her from role player to household name. Her follower count increased 400%. Her earning potential multiplied exponentially. The bodyguard narrative became her brand. Whether intentional or not, their dynamic created a marketing phenomenon benefiting both players. Caitlin gets a fierce defender who takes physical punishment and controversial moments. Sophie gets spotlight, followers, and opportunities from being associated with women's basketball's biggest star. It's symbiotic, smart, and exactly what professional athletes should do to maximize careers and platforms. The reality is more boring and more interesting than rumors. More boring because there's no secret romance. More interesting because it's a masterclass in how modern athletes leverage social media and relationships to build brands. Two elite athletes found each other, recognized their value, and built something benefiting both careers. That's not the fairy tale the internet wants, but it's the success story women's basketball needs. What do you think? Team just friends or something more? Drop your thoughts below. Like and subscribe for more deep dives. The story continues.